င်္ဂအစုံทุกขอบาตา
Retreat means to stay in one place during the whole rainy season, and that was in India, and the non-Buddhist monks, I say that, the non-Buddhist ascetics, they began this practice. And it was for practical reason. Those days, there weren't any proper roads from place to place between cities and villages. During the rainy season, people just people just grow crops. And and then after the crop, the same field becomes road, maybe walk path, and like that. So it happened that in the early days, the Buddha encouraged Buddhist monks, his disciples, to travel and not to stay in one place long. Because by moving around, we don't become a burden on the lay community, on the villages, on the town dwellers. If we stay in one place, you can see life has changed for us. When we started living in the same place, now we need a huge building like this, which is very costly. In addition, when we stay in one place, hundreds of months, then people have the burden, a bigger burden of feeding us. So the Buddha wanted his followers to scatter around, to move around. They continued to do so for a few years. And then people started complaining when they travel during the rainy season, because Buddhist monks step on crops, on vegetation, on plants like that. And we damage people's livelihood. So simply because of that complaint, the Buddha laid down a rule that we should stay in one place for 3 months. So here you can see two reasons. One is ecological reason, because people plant during the rainy season, and those days It was more so when there were no proper roads to avoid the vegetation. So the Buddha did pay great attention to environment. Then the other reason, social reason, is that, okay, we need to pay attention to the complaint from the lay community. We cannot ignore them. We need to observe them, analyze them, consider them properly. Because our life depends on them. So this is how the Buddha dealt with the situation, dealt with the complaint. Of course, myself, I have been in Europe more than 2 decades. And this is not the rainy season, it's the summer, right in the middle of the summer. The same in North America. So if it's not rainy season, what do? Actually, this is the time when people arrange a lot of meditation retreats. Once in Hungary, okay, before we established our monastery, one of the Buddhist organizations which invited me to teach meditation, they didn't have a place. So they just rent one room in a house in a village, which has a huge compound. And they just camp in the compound, meditating on the ground. Just me and me alone, which has, a room accommodation. Of course, the rest of the house belongs to the family. What I want to say is that this is the time people live outside their home because the weather is just so nice, provided you don't have hay fever. If you have hay fever, this is it's a very difficult season because there's a lot of pollen. And conferences are organized in the summer. So monks do have to travel in Europe, in America during this time. So European monks, they substitute this rain retreat in the winter, because European winter is so hostile and so difficult to travel. So monks, every year they lock themselves down for 2 to 3 months. They practice meditation without any trouble. Actually, during the Buddha's time, a king wanted the monks to go and observe a retreat in the summer in his kingdom, not during the rain. Okay. And the monks said, no, the Buddha said a rainy season. But then, when the Buddha came to know, the Buddha told them, Anujanami bhikkhave rajanam anuvatitu. He laid down one rule. He said, it's okay if the authorities invite you to observe a retreat. If it's outside the rainy season, you should follow, especially the how would I say, Raja, that is the politically powerful people. There's not to go against them. So the benefit then that we as Buddhist monks have derived from this practice for the last 2,600 years is that we learn how to socialize. This is the time for socializing. Because other time, we travel so often, so frequently. But during the 3 months that we are together, we have to learn who the other monks are, what do they do, what do they practice. Actually, just yesterday we introduced ourselves. Yeah, it was full moon day yesterday, so we introduced ourselves. We need to know each other. The name and the years in the monkhood and the job that we are doing, something we introduce ourselves. This is part of socializing, is very much in the spirit of early Buddhist community. Now, during this time, we also socialize with people, with our devotees. Because usually, a monk's life is like touch and go. We don't stay in one place for long. But during this period, we stay in one place longer. The people also have more opportunity to socialize with the monks and then to get to know them, to learn from them like that. You may not notice this benefit here in Myanmar because everywhere you have monasteries and many monks. Okay. In Serbia, where I have monastery, in the whole country, there are only 3 monks. Only 3 monks, the whole country. 10 million people. In Hungary, we have a monastery. We don't have a monk yet. You see, how difficult is that? And in Lithuania, bordering Russia, one of our alumni nun here, she opened a center. She is alone, the only Theravada in the country. And when she opened her center, she wanted many monks and nuns to join her. So we could only join online. One Buddhist monk, a great scholar, Bhikkhu Bodhi, was giving a talk from New York. He was born in New York, a great scholar, translator. And I did my speech from here, also online. Another nun was doing an online recitation, online chanting of Dhamၼသ that's from the Netherlands. You see, in the Netherlands we rely on Zoom just to remind ourselves how things have changed and time has changed. And those days, when during the rainy season, because those days the monks, they use just 3 pieces of clothes. And with the rain, okay, when they get wet, they need an extra piece of rope to change. So the practice comes from that. But today, the people, lay people, you have more clothes. And monks also have more clothes. Nuns also have more sets of robes. But we still maintain the tradition. This enforces the cooperation and also the link between the monastic and the lay community. So with this, I'd like to invoke the blessing of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, all of you, for your good health, long life, happiness and success. To live the Zawgyi Unicode, Zawgyi ka Buddha Bhagata ni sara ma hob ba bu. India နိုင်ငံမှာတခြားဘုံဘုံတွေဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာမဟုတ်တဲ့ဘုံဘုံတွေလည်းအများကြီးရှိတယ်။အဲ့ဒီဘုံဘုံတွေကအဲ့ဒီယဟန်တော်တွေကပရမဆုံးဝါဆိုတာပေါ့။ဗုဒ္ဓဘာသာတော့နောက်မှဝါဆိုတာ။အမြဲတမ်းခီးထွက်နေတဲ့ခါကျတော့လူတွေရဲ့စိုက်ပျိုးရေးတွေဒီအခင်းတွေသွားပြီးတော့နင်းမိတယ်ပေါ့ I don't deal land it either. South Harake Mahoda Kacharo. Mosuye, silent away. Nuisuye, to lamp your blind away. A little land either issue. At a jamolo, social conflicts or a point, Eddie, side unit, Ludine. Lumuye Jatanapsila, through side candy to name me now. Adane, Yazaviasi, Dindanic Hajar, to Miaria. The near Remandide, Buddha pointing to a shout one in a pay. I looked it up. And my Buddha Yazapiaga, Key Dwara, are beating. The near Vitania Shrido are beating, tis all by no one. The near Vitania Karna, Key Dwara's way, and then Key Dwara do the dear about Andicho, and Kuma Italian Hipiana. Sing one Hipiana. At all. Key Dwara's way, wait, she did me. Busy day, Mia, Pompo, Pierre Cajaro, Busy Mia, Matero, Mia Masudo. Elevate key at Aroma laying at their beta. Go with them as a year go with them as a busy de Mateo. And I tell she said, Pisi Mato, say Mato, came to Chibwa Jansa, came to a young girl. Pisi Mato, and Pisi de Masune, say Mato, say Lematune, say Matune, and I say. Chibware, Tana Boma, Dhama Boma, Chibware. Edia Nebido, Wasula, the Nearema Wasula. Tapsi crown upon Jodulu. That Moja Wasula. Europe, the Margarosway, Taka Moya Zimho, to a Nuya de Pini. Tapsim Peloloja Maro, Ubo Pure Karama, Hoyare Kama, Ubo Puini. Dia pure Pongsan, Pure Mia. A dear John Donis Choka Homa, the Ken Nuima, Ubo Pirekama. Yaus Mo Udus or Moa Mayati. Panabaka Shibi Suramio. Aramio. Oh, I don't know. Bodham Yazapia was so kind of a John the John. O Piusa low, no, was so kind of the Kuano. But one chimpona, but one jim, Piusa, or Tilupe, Ludi, Tina, a penny, Jasile, me, so we don't. Eddie, since I do come consideration, was so. Not who are about parents and social considerations, Lumuye, since I. A sight pure ludine, Piatana Piamao. A Piatana Mafia, the Niaramaniva. Elu, Ludine, Lumui Piatana Mafia. That's why we have Pinyat had to take about it and Yaiva. Soluraga, Bodamiasapiaga, social perspective, they count it. Environmental perspective, like Shidamure. I don't leave Georgina. Didn't was a thing illusion, where we saw Alo. Pay and king what Jamachana swamping, could ring go back into it, but Pirin Biba. Say Sanda Aliota and Apunan Chapasi. And Dumbo Sarah, he said, Piamirachinim.
So, Venerable Rector just give a short account. The reason we observe the Vasa here in English and in Myanmar. So we also have a Sri Lankan Bhikkhu here to observe Vasa with us. So I like the formula that we share our merits in Pali that we learn from Sri Lanka. So it's short and also short to the point and how to say, it's sweet because it is composed in Pali stanza. Pali Lube, Dililingama, Chinton Tulu, Tutuline is a child, no? Okay, along this. Venerable Siddhartha, you may join with me, so that we can chant in Sri Lankan style. Yes. Now, maybe the PPD, like bit of Subala, no? Idame nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idame nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imang punya bhagang sabha sattanang sabha pitanang samang lapantu yatha vari vaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva meva ito tingnam pitanang upakapati ichitam patitang tuhang kipameva samicchatu sape purentu citasang kapa Janto panaraso yatha manicho tiraso yatha Idho byuyamya punya chang chamya eji veme mi di shue pi to chao lam makao pe Yao ya ba lu tu tu bha wa chin le ya le Dukkha bhidan yama apa makang hu te mya ma twe ya be Thava eksa mingala gu yue kha ta tan ya si to Yene ye ku piu piu te mya Myan bhaga ku mi vasaya Miu taha ne Ku ma sang cha Ku sang naka Ayin sa yu Shi te mya long song Bong tong se ti Phi phi te mya Vi ni ya du Ya javasi pinghaviti Myate tatu kosita Kudo amya Yudo mucha bagong lo Tadu Kudo Amya Yudo mucha bagong lo Tadu Kuso mi dinai mi yami Hau ka saradaka lai sang paramim Lai sen kampa tang sing tang long Jem pi jem sang jem sat jem kon Viniya satawa nazakyawa Ananta sakyawa la tang si Kyan to hum hum chom chom Sa thu anu mo thana Lai hap ku su phan đi Phình bếng cần sinh sinh Sa cam lười ta no Sa thu